the new pattern fans are quietly tracking. Fans didn't notice it all at once. There was no dramatic announcement, no viral clip that screamed something changed. Instead, it crept in slowly, subtle enough to ignore at first, but consistent enough that, once seen, it couldn't be unseen. Across comment sections, private group chats, and long Twitter threads, one phrase keeps appearing. There's a pattern forming, and what makes it unsettling is how quiet it is. It started with what wasn't there. At first, fans brushed it off as coincidence. A missed interaction here. A delayed response there. A moment that should have happened but didn't. Normally, Faye and Yoko's presence followed a rhythm fans were deeply familiar with. Soft acknowledgments. Mirrored energy. Small but meaningful gestures that reassured without needing explanation. Recently, though, fans began noticing something different. Not absence, but selective presence. They weren't disappearing. They were choosing when and how to appear. The shift from natural to intentional. One of the most discussed changes is how careful everything feels now. Fans point out that interactions feel more measured. Public moments appear spaced out. Emotional cues are less spontaneous. Silence feels planned rather than accidental. Where things once flowed naturally, they now seem curated. Not cold, not distant, just controlled. And for a fandom used to emotional transparency, that control feels loud. Why fans think this pattern is deliberate? The consensus forming quietly among fans isn't panic, it's recognition. Many believe Faye and Yoko are navigating a phase where boundaries matter more than reassurance. Especially after a health scare, priorities change. Fans have noted a stronger separation between private and public moments. A less immediate feedback to speculation. Fewer emotional signals meant for interpretation. A noticeable effort to reduce narrative fuel. One fan summarized it perfectly. They're not hiding. They're protecting. That distinction matters. The health scare that changed the tone. For many fans, the hospitalization was the unspoken turning point. Before it, openness felt safe. After it, openness began to feel risky. Health scares don't just affect bodies, they rewire dynamics. Fans believe this is when the new pattern truly began. A Faye appearing more reserved, more composed. Yoko's presence feeling softer but more distant. Fewer emotionally charged public moments. More focus on stability than connection display. It's not less care. It's care expressed differently. Fans are tracking what replaced the old pattern. Interestingly, fans aren't just noticing what disappeared, they're noticing what took its place. Instead of overt affection, there is consistency, quiet support, neutral language, emotional restraint. Some fans believe this signals maturity. Others fear it signals emotional exhaustion. Both interpretations coexist, and that tension is what keeps the discussion alive. Why this pattern feels so different from before. What makes this phase unsettling isn't distance, it's ambiguity. There's no confirmation, no denial, no explanation. Just enough presence to stay connected. Just enough silence to invite questions. Fans aren't reacting to loss. They're reacting to uncertainty. And uncertainty is harder to process than endings. The fandom's quiet agreement. Perhaps the most fascinating part of this moment is how fans themselves are changing. There's less screaming, less demanding, more observation. Fans are watching closely but quietly, as if they've collectively agreed. If this is a fragile phase, we don't break it. That alone speaks volumes about how deeply invested the fandom still is. Final thoughts. A pattern isn't an ending. A pattern doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something is different. Faye and Yoko aren't vanishing. They aren't confirming anything either. They're moving carefully, and fans are learning to read between the lines rather than chase them. This may not be the loudest chapter of their story, but it might be the most revealing. Because sometimes, the quietest patterns tell the biggest truths.